ladies and gentlemen, Rob here with Deluks Gaming, and welcome back to Reassembly Season 7. We're now in Episode 2, and the evolution of the Reds into their primary species. I have chosen their next evolution, and I'm going to share that with you in a second. Before I begin, though, I'd like to say a special thank you to everybody who contributed in the comments section of the first video. There were so many amazing ideas as to what we should do for the next evolution of this species. Like some just absolutely, some that kind of totally made sense. Like snowflakes, I think that kind of made sense. Snowflakes are fragile. Snowflakes are beautiful. Snowflakes, it kind of made sense. I like that. And then we had, we had ideas like tropical fruit. Frost birds, space amoebas, ants. Ants was a good one too, but we've already done insects. So I tried to choose something that not only we haven't done before, because, like with insects, it's just too similar, right? But something that we not only have not done before, but something that really fits sort of the model of the Reds and what they are and what they're not, right? So the Reds are definitely not durable. The Reds are, have the ability to regenerate. The Reds are beautiful. So I have chosen, after serious consideration, I've chosen to base our species after one of the most fascinating classes of sea creatures known as cephalopods. Most noteworthy for like octopus, or octopuses, octopi. I don't know what the plural is for that. Squid, cuttlefish, and nautiloidea. Now, nautiloidea is sort of the one that sort of stands out from that, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But the Reds, I'm just going to pause it here as we talk about it, and I'm going to show some pictures of some of these creatures that I speak of, and reasons why I think the Reds really fit into them. So the Reds share a great deal in common with these, and especially, like all of the cephalopod type creatures are highly intelligent overall. Their brains versus their body mass, their brains are very large. They can be taught. As a matter of fact, I saw some footage last night of an octopus opening up a jar to get some food. Like, they're very, very smart. So, and I always picture, a species like the Reds would have to be very intelligent in order to survive because they're very vulnerable. And on that note, most cephalopods don't form their own shells. They have a very soft body mass, which means they're very vulnerable to being attacked by other creatures. So again, it fits the Reds very, very, very well. They're highly vulnerable to being destroyed. However, the cephalopods have some very unique special abilities that fits the Reds as well. For example, their ability to regenerate. All cephalopods have the ability to regenerate limbs, body parts, you name it, very, very, very quickly. It's necessary for the cephalopods to survive in the wild because they're so vulnerable. They lose chunks all the time and they just regrow the chunk. It fits perfectly. I love that. The Reds have regeneration drones. Not only regeneration drones, but they also have a regeneration beam. So one of the things with cephalopods is often they're known as inkers. They have ink pods on their bodies. Almost all cephalopods have ink pods on their bodies, which allow them to, squirt out ink as a defense mechanism. And if you look at them, I don't know if you can see it, but you can kind of see the regeneration drones working here and the regeneration beams working here, and you can see it does look like ink. It totally looks like ink. So I love that. That fits really, really well as a defense mechanism. Also, something that maybe it's not that relevant in terms of what we build, sort of, and it won't really matter in terms of who we're facing and how much damage we're doing and how much damage we're not taking, but cephalopods, all cephalopods are beautiful. They're sheer beauty. As a matter of fact, some species like the cuttlefish have the ability to not only camouflage their body, but actually cause this kind of hypnotic haze up over their bodies that allows them to almost hypnotize other creatures before they attack them. It's amazing, and one of the most beautiful things that I was looking at as I was doing my research. So the Reds, we all know Reds, just the way the blocks work in the Reds, the way that the blocks fit together, they're often very beautiful ships. So I thought that was something that I should take into consideration, is just the sheer beauty of them. Now, it's going to take a lot of work to work with the red parts to make them into cephalopods, being that we only have like the Penrose 1 and the Penrose 0. That's pretty much it. And I suppose we could use the storage pod and some of these other parts to maybe accent some of that to make it look better. But as far as actual building blocks, they have two. They have two building blocks. So to try and make tentacles and other things like that is going to be probably more challenging than I think it's going to be, at least at this point. Who knows? It might be better than that. It might be easier than that. I don't know. But you know what? I think it's time for us to start exploring what it means to be a cephalopod. And I think our first evolution is going to be into one of the more simpler creatures of the cephalopod world. I'd like to explore Missiles out of nowhere. We need to get some missile defense lasers on these ships as soon as possible. Yeah, maybe that could be something that we work on first. I'll help with this fight unless everybody's already dead. Sure. Yes, excellent. Come to me. Oh, wow. Missile. One missile took out the ship. Yeah. So, and even cuttlefish, although they sound very cuddly because they're called cuttlefish are actually quite dangerous. They have this, and just like other cephalopods, they have a beak that can penetrate through crab shells. Like they are, like once they target you, they will waste you. So they're very, you know, like even though they're very vulnerable to being attacked by other creatures, they do have the ability to do some serious damage to their prey. They can cut through a crab shell like instantaneously. So I'm really excited to explore this and see what we can actually come up with. Like I said, I think we're gonna start off with cuttlefish. I'd like to get a little bit more sea before we begin our first evolution, and it's going to be small. It's not going to be a massive evolution. It's going to be a relatively simple evolution, and I'm going to keep all of the evolutions that we have on our list. So I'm gonna make sure that, you know, like we make a copy of every single evolution that we have, so that when we move on and we finish off this species, we have every single iteration that we've created. So first, I think, you know what, I'm gonna try and go for a couple more of the stations first. Let's just travel up here. It's always dangerous traveling alone. That's another thing. I was watching, you know, cuttlefish themselves, when they go through these mating procedures, it's literally one female surrounded by packs of males. Like they kind of do travel in packs during mating season, so that kind of fits. They do lay many eggs. For the most part, cephalopods are solitary loner type creatures, although this is in space, and we're gonna make some accommodation for the fact that we are in space and we are still flying spaceships, even though this is a space species. I don't know if I should be facing these guys. Ah, yes, lasers. There we go, very nice, very nice. These guys I think they're faction 4. I think they're little faction 4 guys. Hard to tell. But yeah, I think the lasers will rip them apart pretty easily. Friendlies. Lovely. Okay, let's go up here. Let's grab at least one more or a couple of these stations and maybe get a little bit more social credits to work with before we start building our first evolution, which is going to be the cuttlefish. I don't know if I'm going to get into nitty-gritty, like specific types of cuttlefish, because there's a lot. There's like 150 different types of species, maybe even more than that. There was quite a few when I was looking it up. A lot of different types of species of octopus, and even some subspecies of cephalopods that don't necessarily fit with this group that I'd like to attempt to build, like the nautiloids. The nautiloids are actually one of the few cephalopods that actually build a shell around their bodies. So I don't know if we can pull that off, but I think we can using Tempest maybe. I don't know. Either way, I think we're going to be successful, so long as, oh geez, that's just way too much for me to handle. Whoa, that is definitely modular cannons, I think. I don't know, I got such a, no, I'm spinning out of control. No! Yeah, that's a big old modular cannon, yep. Well, we don't have any defense against stuff like that right now. Eventually we will. We're gonna have our ink pods, which are, you know, essentially our healing drones. We didn't make any C doing that. You know what? I think we're gonna go and we're gonna attempt to try to build our first evolution of the cephalopod species in space. Let's do this, folks. Okay, rather than beginning with a mutation of our original design, which I'm gonna go back and do, I decided that we needed to have a very specific type of cuttlefish design that was made to harvest resources. This creature has 2 large nanosembler beams as her eyes. Now these nanosembler beams, in case you don't know, they can be used to regenerate plant growth in the reassembly world. So on top of that, I made sure to include multiple storage pods so that this specific design is going to be used by our species to gather resources. So she is going to, rebuild the plant growth so that tiny little crabs and tiny little fish appear, and she can suck up those tiny little fish and eat them, and of course we grow stronger. So this design, less so for combat, if at all. She has 1 anti-missile laser and 4 regular lasers, not even a plasma cannon or a phaser or a blaster on it. Although we could add a couple blasters here. We do have a little bit more room to add a couple of blasters just for some extra defense. I don't know about that though. I mean, sure. I want it to be a fairly inexpensive design though, and I think 777 is already kind of pushing it. So she is mostly designed to gather resources for our new species. Now we're gonna make a couple modifications to the Tricklet to kind of add that effect of mutating over time and becoming a little bit more deadly. So give me a second and I will do this too. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, there it is. There is the mutated version of the Tricklet. It's growing pods or feet all over it, like an octopus, sort of. And I can hear you guys clacking already, typing away, saying, Rob, it doesn't, or Deluks, it's not symmetrical. No, it's not intended to be symmetrical, although octopi are probably symmetrical. If you stretch them out, they would probably be mostly symmetrical. But in nature, have you ever seen an octopus that's symmetrical? It doesn't happen. So they're always going to have moving limbs that are always changing position. So that was the best I could do to sort of simulate that effect. Now, it is a little bit more expensive than the original Tricklet, but I did add a few more extra weapons. For example, a couple more anti-missile lasers. I do have a couple phasers that are structurally holding the back end together. I'm not a big fan of doing that, but actually it does have double structural integrity. Well, no, not really. It's these 2 phasers are holding the whole back end in, but that's okay. You can still see some of the original traits of the Tricklet to kind of remind you of where it came from, but she is mutating. She's mutating and becoming something completely different. Now we can't actually build and fly the ship yet because we don't have enough P. Like, we don't have the ability to build a ship that big on our own, but it's in our inventory. So we're going to start off with, and we need a name. We need names for these guys. This guy, actually, I'm going to name Sepia. Sepia is the first Latin name for a common cuttlefish. So this is just the plain old sepia. It's a very simple design for one purpose, and that is to make us some money. So let's go see if we can do that. Let's go see if we can use this design to make us a little bit of money. There she is. She's building. It does look a little bit like a cuttlefish. You can see the ink pods coming from our friendlies. Ah, wonderful. And see, we've got ink pods here. Now, the goal here, these guys should be able to repair, whoops, that didn't work very well. Hold on. Let's find an asteroid. So they should be able to repair and build plants. Yes, see how it builds a plant? Oh, I guess it also destroys them at the same time. Well, that wasn't, oh, I know what I have to do. Hold on. We have to go to our bindings. Okay, so let's put these on right mouse button. Everything else can be on left mouse button. Yes, there, that's what we want. We just want to be able to affect these plants with these healing beams. There it goes. See, we're actually building the plants quickly, and it causes them actually to launch seed pods right away, and makes it so that we can farm these areas and get as much P as possible, or as much R as possible from our safe areas. Isn't that interesting how it kind of travels through the entire asteroid? Isn't that neat? So I'm not seeing, oh, there it is. So we can start to harvest these guys faster as long as we keep them in good shape and don't ram into them like I'm about to do. Yeah, so this is a farming, used for farming. This is wonderful. Oh, that's so cool. I gotta try to avoid hitting them. But yeah, so it will sort of, I'm hoping that these ships, once we stop flying them and they're actually being run by the AI, they'll kind of stick nearby where there is plants, and then sort of gather the resources around the plants and just keep the plants fully repaired. That way they just keep producing. Isn't that neat? I love that. Besides that, it's also a repair vessel, right? It can repair other ships, which is nice. So yeah, we can actually kind of follow along. Oh, we can kind of follow along with some of these bigger ships, bigger, more dangerous ships, and just repair it. I love it. Oh, I love the healing beams. That is so cool. We're not making a huge amount of R here, but I'm kind of hoping as time goes on, we'll start to see more and more of these ships, and they will be kind of sticking around the plant areas, and we'll be making more and more money, because it is going to be a numbers game. It's going to be a little bit of a numbers game, actually, playing the Reds. We got to make sure that we've got enough quantity of our species around in order to survive, because it would be pretty easy for a big enemy, say the Crystalline or whoever, to come through here, destroy all of our ships, and then it'd be game over. I've never lost, per se, a game of Reassembly, but I figure if you're playing the Reds, that's about the closest you could probably get to actually losing a game. Now, we're not making a lot of money here. Let's maybe go, our services might be better running out here and maybe starting some new plant life out here. Yeah, don't know. This thing's pretty slow. Slower than I thought it would be. The big butt on this thing with all those storage pods is probably quite heavy. Yeah, so we can come up here. Oh yeah, we can grow that plant out. Yes, just like that. Beautiful. Watch that. Watch the pods appear and launch right away. Oh, I love it. Oh, that's fantastic. And look at, they're planting. I'll wait until he's in. I think he's in already. No, he's not quite in. Wait for that seed to actually take root, and then we can grow the plants, I think. I mean, we can repair them really easily. Yeah, and hold on, let's go around to this other one. Perfect. It's a great way to fast track our civilization into becoming more deadly and more prolific. Yeah, beautiful. That's wonderful. And then this one can grow really quickly. Look at that. That's great. Oh, that is really cool. I really like that. And then the more and more seeds launch, and of course, then more plants get grown, and then we can just repair that up to full. Beautiful. Very nice. Very nice. So our territory, we should have some pretty good farming zones in the end with all of these repair beams kicking around. Get some more of these plants maybe planted in this other area over here. Come here. Let's grab some of these seeds. There we go. Launch. Whoops. Careful not to, there it goes. Oh, yeah. Oh, you were so close. No, no. Oh, okay. Well, we got a couple more plants over here. Perfect. Then get those fully grown, get the pods launched off of those. There we go, beautiful. Sometimes you can kind of grab the seeds and put them where you want them, but yeah, it's kind of tricky. This thing actually moves a little bit like a pig. Not surprising. Oh, yeah, there's one. We'll get that repaired up, perfect. Yes, this should allow our faction to grow fairly quickly, because, I mean, even though this ship is like 700p, it's still relatively cheap for what it does, I think. There we go. And, you know, our max size ships, like our 8,000p ships with Tempest. Hey, you destroyed the plants. Guys, all this work I've done repairing these plants, and then you just show up and you ram into them. No, don't hit the plants, you dummies. Stop it. Stop it. I can't shoot my own guys, unfortunately. The mother sepia is trying to do the work. All the dirty work here, and you guys are just coming along and ruining it all. There, we got a little bit of our... Yeah, it's gonna take a while for us to grow all of these gardens. I'm gonna do some of that on our own. I was kind of hoping to get enough seed to improve the size, upgrade our size a little bit so that we could fly the Trickle. Now, we need a new name for the Trickle. It's a brand new ship. I mean, it's an upgrade from the original Tricklet, actually, the original Tricklet. But, can I repair them after they're... No. But it is still a completely different design, so we're gonna need a name for it. And I don't know what to call it yet, because it's not quite an octopus. I mean, it hasn't quite reached that point where it's an octopus. getting in the way here. Look at all the goodies that are being formed over here. That's fantastic. But my guys, they're quite prolific. We've got quite a few guys running around here trying to grab all that stuff. So we're better off probably farming in these less occupied areas and just, you know, building up. Yeah, we're getting these plants going very quickly. That's lovely. Look at that. Oh, that's great. We shall be big. We shall be very prolific, and we will become strong very quickly, I think, using this kind of tactic. And I'm going to do some of this on my own so that we have a nice big garden to harvest from, so that when we come back for the next episode, of course, we will have quite a bit more opportunity to grab way more R and, of course, then more social credits, and then build bigger and more dangerous ships. Because right now I'm feeling like we're pretty weak combat-wise. Although the Trickler does have a few more weapons, it's still pretty weak overall. Build it up. Beautiful. And they launched those seeds right away. That's actually wonderful. That's so good. Yes, look at that. And then the seeds they go over here, and then they launch, or they attach to the asteroids over here, and then we'll... Look at all those seeds. Wonderful. Great. And you can shoot the actual asteroid itself, and I guess it heals everything on the asteroid. Hey, that's pretty cool. So you don't actually have to target the plants. You just got to find the right place on the asteroid, and it just kind of heals all the way through it. That's great. Very cool. Or you can just directly target the plants themselves. Back up, back up, back up. There we go. Beautiful. So yeah, the first couple episodes here is just trying to build up that R, and this is kind of a fast track way to do it. It reminds me of the farmers a little bit. I mean, the farmers have their own plants themselves. Like they had a plant that they could actually root and grow themselves that produced a lot of R. But we have the potential to do something similar with this. We just gotta, you know, heal up all these plants and let them grow. I love it. I love it. That's great. Now, do we have enough C? I wonder. Let's see if we can upgrade now. Let's upgrade. Oh, not enough. How much do we need? We need 390. So we just need a little bit more. We have a little bit of R, but not enough. See if we can grab a little bit more of this, because we can't actually build our other new ship quite yet. We need one more upgrade, and I think we'll be able to do it. I think. Hold on. What are we at right now? So we're at 777p. I'm sure one more upgrade we'll be able to pull it off. No problem. I guess we'll just heal as we go through here. We'll grab a little bit more R. I don't want to ram into the plants. I guess it doesn't matter. We can just, you know, repair them. That's fine. But it's kind of a cool looking ship, and it does look a little bit like a cuttlefish. I mean, it's not perfect, right? But I didn't want to make the ship too big. So that was one of the limitations, one of the serious limitations I had right at the beginning here, is just not making these ships too big. Otherwise, they just move like pigs. And the last thing we want is a big old target, like a big old cuttlefish, that can't move very fast, you know, being faced with a bunch of enemies. I love how they're growing all of the plants on top of the ships there. Look at all the ships just being generated from this sucker. Yes, we are going to dominate this universe. 57, was that enough? I don't think so. Oh, yes, it is. Perfect. That is perfectly enough. Wonderful. Okay, let's play with the new Tricklet. We need a name for him. We need a name. We need a name. I'm not going to name him. I'm going to leave that up to you guys. Let's build him. Form the pods. Excellent. Does take a little bit more time to build him. Wouldn't hurt to actually have some regenerative drones on here too. It's a very simple design. It should move a little bit faster than the other guy. Yeah, it's a little bit more maneuverable. I did put some big engines on there. Let's go see if we can get into trouble. Let's change our bindings. Bindings, we're gonna put, yes, all of these are on auto fire. That's what I want. And the lasers are on point defense, and those are, okay, perfect. Yes, excellent. So we've got some extra phasers on here. That should help a little bit, and those defensive lasers will help a lot too. So let's see if we can get into trouble. Now, there was that Faction 4 group up north here. Let's go see if we can... We don't have any factories yet, so I could just buy some guys and bring them with us, but that would require a lot of R that we just don't have right now. Looks like our guys are making really good use of this plant area, though. That's really great. Go in there, grab everything you can. That's great, guys. Yes, grow, proliferate. I love that. We're going to be replacing these big ships soon enough with our own designs, sort of related to octopus or cephalopods specifically. I mean, I'm focused on cephalopods, but squids are also something that I'm really interested in making some really neat squid designs, because squids are actually quite effective in nature and interesting, and they all have the ability, most cephalopods have the ability to change the color of their skin to match their environment. They're a little bit of a chameleon, actually, which is really, really cool, and I can't mimic that effect in this game. I would love to. That would be really cool if we could do something like that. I'm really interested in that station that you guys have up here. There we go, zap zap. Those shields can't hold up under those lasers for very long. They're not the best lasers in the game, but they're pretty good. I like them. They track very fast. Let's see if we can sneak in here. There's a little bit of defenses in here, but we should be able to take that stuff out unless a big Faction 4 dude comes running in here. We should be able to get in there and grab this. Get a little bit closer. Perfect. Look at all that social credit. I love it. Zap, zap. Excellent. And we're going to conquer this area now. Wonderful. Zap, zap. Look at all those healing drones. That's so great. Yes, we need to get our own healing drones, especially once we start to get into some bigger ships. For sure. Actually, I'm feeling a little bit more successful already. I know we're just fighting little ships here, but this is pretty effective once we get in close. It pretty much wipes them out almost instantaneously. Lovely. Beautiful. Beautiful. Zap, zap. Excellent. Very nice. I want that R. I want that R. And then we'll go back. We'll grab a little bit more social credit. There we go. Beautiful. Can I turn around? Pretty close. There we go. Wonderful. Oh my God. Look at all this R. All these plants just turned. Lovely. They reached full maturity and then we can just collect everything. Oh, this is great. Dum-dum. Farming away. I love it. Oh, that's fantastic. And I do have some storage pods on here so we can actually store 2104R, which is fantastic. And our a big friendly ship is close by. So we'll go and we'll cash in on this right away. Oh, this is like a big windfall. This is really great. It's not very much individually those little blobs of R, not very much, but put it all together and it's quite a bit. Let's grab some of this before the rest of our guys steal it all on us. I just don't want to lose it. So we're up to almost 1,000 R. Wow, that's great. So these blue plants, I wonder if there's a difference between the blue plants and the green plants. I wonder if the blue plants produce more R, or like when they mature, they turn into the, but I've seen the green ones do that too. Hold on, let's grab this one. This one looks really good. Yes. Wonderful. Oh, wow. Juicy. That's almost 1,000 R. Oh, lovely. And at this point in the game, 1,000 R makes a big difference. Let's go down and grab some of it over here. No, let's go cash in. Let's go cash in. Let's not take any more chances. There we go. Done. He's going to create a whole bunch of our minions. Our little octopod minions. Octopods. Oh, the octopods. That's what we're naming these guys. No, that's the cephalopods. We're going to, I don't know. I'm debating. I think we'll stick with cephalopods because I like the diversity of all the different types of cephalopods. Hey, you're stealing my R, dude. That's my R. My R, back off. We're gonna be fighting over the same R very soon because he's building ships like crazy with all of these resources just kicking around. I love it. Fantastic. Now we have 1342C. We'll be able to upgrade and build some bigger and better ships next time and add to the mutation that we've already formed. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're enjoying the series. I love this. This is great. Welcome, the cephalopods. Dun dun dun. We have not found an enemy yet, but we will. All right, take care. Bye. Bye.